Good morning, Smitty here. Thanks for checking out the video. First things first, I'm making this video for a few specific people that I've had contact with recently, friends and clients. So I wanted to put this out there. I'm going to speak really off the cuff, haven't written down anything, just something I've been thinking about the last couple of days. We're upstairs, not in the office today, upstairs with the beautiful scenery, beautiful view of nothing. I've got the last you get what you earn t-shirt on here, 2XL if anyone wants it, too big for me. So the title of this video, I'm going to choose something like how to not care what people think or not giving a fuck about what people think. And I'm not the type of person who lives by that. Like, I do care what people think, and I'm aware of it and I'm happy with it. I think everyone to some extent should care what others think. This is stemming from people that are going through some mental stuff at the moment. Mental health, mental clarity, mental problems, whatever you'd like to call it. I can't think of the nice way to say it really. People that are struggling, most of the time that the people I deal with, it's weight related. People that are bigger, that don't want to be bigger. People that are weaker, that want to be stronger and just aren't there yet. And comparing themselves to others, which is something we naturally all do. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but we all do it. So I'll get straight into it. I'm going to share a couple of stories rather than trying to think of facts or explain the brain or studies or anything like that, because I can't remember any. Anyway, when I was in high school, my nose has always been big. It's big now. I think it used to look bigger in high school because the rest of my face hadn't grown. My nose was this big, but everything else was small. It looked big. I had a big nose. I still have a big nose. And I really cared about it. It affected my, what do you call it? Your image, your self-image. And what I would do is I would notice, when I started really wanting girlfriends or liking girls or wanting the attention of girls, I'd noticed that a lot of the attractive girls at school, who they were with, and I would look at the guys and say, well, they must be attractive guys. And I came to the conclusion that they all had small noses. That's what I noticed. Yeah, he's got a small nose. Yeah, he's got a nice nose. That's why he's attractive. It's all the nose. They like girls like guys with nice noses. That's why those girls don't like me, even though I wasn't talking to them or doing anything. Doesn't matter. But that's what I noticed about people, right? And then I didn't like my hair. I've always had thick, curly hair, so it was a big deal to me. I grew dreadlocks in high school and always had long hair, because the short hair like this, I couldn't really do anything with it. It was very different to this in high school. Couldn't do anything with it when it was short. When it was longer, it would kind of hide my nose. I loved the emo days with the fringe and stuff like that and straightening it. But I would notice that they all had nice hair, right? These attractive guys, or the guys that were with attractive girls, they all had small nose and short hair. That's what I saw. You could not have told me anything different. You couldn't have shown me, like, there were plenty of guys out there with big noses and hot girlfriends. They do exist. I'm one of them now. It's happened. And long hair, it wasn't those features, but that's what I saw, and you could not have told me anything different because I was seeing it. That's all I was surrounded by. It seemed like people that had what I wanted, and I was just looking at it through, they had a hot girlfriend. That was the lens, so I thought they must be extremely happy, not taking into account how, I don't know, athletic I was, how bright I was, how healthy I was, all the great things I had. It was just, I wanted a small nose and nice hair so that I could have a hot girlfriend at 17 years old, right? As I started, go forward a few years, started working. I remember when I worked at Rebel Sport selling shoes, and I had no interest in that when I first started. And then, like, within a year of doing it, like, I'd walk around the streets and I'd look at people's feet, right? I'd look to see if they rolled in or things like that, what type of shoe I would recommend them. Like, I was interested in shoes and feet now. And that's what I'd look for. I'd look at someone and like, I'd notice their feet. I wouldn't look at their nose or hair anymore, because that wasn't an issue for me anymore. My face had grown into itself. I could talk to girls and I'd had girlfriends and stuff like that. I wasn't so self-conscious. But because I was interested in footwear and was talking about it all day, that's what I started noticing. When I started at the gym, I started noticing guys' arms. I could tell if someone trained or not, or exercised or played sport based on their calves and their arms. Even if they had small calves, you could still tell if they were athletic or not, right? So what I'm trying to say is, what you're interested in, or where your mind is at, what you're conscious of, or what you're interested in, whether that's positive or negative, that's what you're going to notice in others. Okay, hopefully you agree with that. You can see what I'm trying to say by these little stories, right? What do I notice people now? Now I notice their energy. Now honest to God, Lawrence, one of the guys I train with, has a septum piercing and I didn't even know for, I don't know, forever. I didn't know. I don't notice people's teeth. If someone's got bad teeth or get their teeth fixed or get pimples, I'll notice a haircut most of the time on people, but I don't notice like facial features so much. I look at people's posture and bodies because that's part of my job and it interests me, but I'll just notice people's energies. I can tell if someone's tired when they come into the gym. I can tell if someone's just different, a bit off, a bit standoffish. I can tell all those things and I just notice it, don't judge it, of course. That's what I'm interested in, right? I'm not as self-conscious about my body most of the time these days, so I don't notice the size of people's noses, their teeth, their facial hair, their hair, things like that, right? That's all well and good for me, all right? So maybe ask yourself first, what do you notice about people? And then you might find, therefore, what you're conscious of within yourself, or just what you're interested in. It's not always you're going to see what you're lacking in others. Sometimes you will, but it's not always that. Just what interests you. So if you notice people's teeth or facial hair or something like that, it doesn't mean that you're conscious of that. It might just mean that you're interested in it, okay? But that's good questions to ask yourself. How I'm going to relate it to not giving a fuck what people think or whatever people say is if you walk around somewhere thinking, everyone here's going to think I'm short, right? That was another one I went through when I used to go out, being a short person. I just really didn't enjoy it because you feel like a child at an adult's party. You just feel unseen and pretty crappy. So you walk around thinking everyone's going to think I'm short and everyone knows I'm short, blah, 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 blah. When you're surrounded by tall people or just average height people that aren't short, I should say, they're not going to look at you and think you're short because being short isn't an interest for them and it's not something they're conscious of, okay? So unless you're emanating all this negativity, they're not going to think anything of you. They might notice your muscles because you go to gym, or your feet roll in because they work at Rebel Sport. They're going to notice the things that they're lacking or interested in. So to walk around and assume that everyone thinks that you're fat and short, you're not wrong. Some people will, but the people that think you're fat and short are probably fat and short themselves, or for some reason interested in people that are fat and short and notice it. Okay, so it's okay to care what people think, but just know that the people that think something negative about you, not only is it none of your business, but they're only seeing it through their lens, all right? They're seeing it through what they're interested in or what they're conscious of, okay? So try not to walk around this world assuming that the way you see yourself is what other people are going to see and that they're going to judge or care about it, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, just give yourself some freedom that people don't see yourself the way you see yourself, okay? And then ask yourself how you see the world and how you see people, and are you happy about that? Are you happy to notice people's face, biceps, energy? Just ask yourself. You don't have to judge it, and just see if you're happy with that and then move on. So I'm really hoping if people can understand that, just a couple people in my life at the moment, and I'm sure there's heaps of people out there. I would have liked to have heard this 10 years ago. Who knows what I would have done with the info though. But just know that you're not right. The way you see yourself is the way you see yourself, and you're looking at it through the lens of what you're being critical of and what you think you're lacking, and those things will change, right? So as my nose changed, I started becoming conscious of my hair. As my hair changed, I started becoming conscious of my height, then my biceps, and then my pecs. I was never conscious of my biceps, but my pecs, right? There's always something. There's always going to be something that you're conscious of if you are that type of person, and allow it. And it is something that you can change. The first thing is being aware of it. Okay, I'm conscious of myself. If you're a fat person, by your standards, whatever fat means, and then you drop the fat, you will replace that with something else. You will now be conscious of your height, your status, your hair, something. You will replace it until you say, hey, I'm judging myself and I don't want to do that any further. Okay? That's not getting into topics of not being fat for health reasons and things like that, but accepting that you are the type of person. So I need to accept that I'm the type of person that judges myself, that compares myself, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to be like that. That doesn't help me. It's going to make me look at other people differently and maybe treat them differently. So the first step is awareness, and then comes acceptance. Change what you can change, accept what you can't change, and then also accept that the way you see yourself is probably wrong. No one else is thinking that you're fat and short and stupid. And if you are fat and short and stupid, those things are almost all changeable, not the short part. Anyway, I hope that helps a couple people, or at least gets a conversation started. I'm going to go train. Have a good evening. Goodbye.